winter is over, I'm happy to say. And we're all met again with our ribbons so gay. And we're all met again on the first day of May, to go about dancing with Jack in the Green. Jack in the Green. Jack in the Green. And we'll go about dancing with Jack in the Green. You've been caught in the act, Moonbeam. Croeso, welcome back to Ceridwen Cottage Diary. It is now the 17th of May, and yeah, the garden has really gone mad. So I'm sorry that I haven't been able to do the weekly or fortnightly videos that I've wanted to. It's been a very busy time of year, and since I last spoke to you a couple of days ago, it was Daisy's graduation from Oxford University, which I went to, and I will add a little clip of that in, not all of it because it was very long, most of which was in Latin, as you would imagine for Oxford. But it was absolutely magical. It was actually a beautiful ceremony, full of joy, lots of ceremony and ritual as well, but also very, very joyous. Anyway, you see me now back down to earth, and back at the cottage and in the garden. And yeah, it's partly why I haven't filmed is because the weather took a real turn. It's been absolutely freezing here in Wales. Very windy. We've had rain. May has not been a particularly lovely month. We have had lots and lots of dry weather as well, but it's been extremely cold and windy. So I just haven't had much opportunity to get out into the garden because I've been freezing. So I haven't wanted to do that. I haven't wanted to get into my garden after I've finished work. Anyway, as I said, it's now the 17th of May, and I would like to show you how things have changed. So as you can see, probably with the lack of light, because it's been very sort of gloomy, though dry and very windy, everything has gone extremely tall, which is a challenge when you've got a very steep garden. So lots of things are flopping, but I'm still very pleased with how it's looking. Here is the Clematis montana, which has been flowering for a few weeks, and I said was about to pop, and it's been amazing. It's completely covered the fence, which is what I wanted. It's just glorious. Oh, and it smells amazing as well. In between the Clematis montana, we've got this lovely climbing rose, and it's a repeat flowerer. It's a lovely white one. I have obviously showed it to you before, but in case you haven't watched last year's video, it's called Starlight Symphony. I'll see if I can get a closer. What's lovely about it, which you might not be able to see on camera, is the stamens are actually pink, so they're extremely pretty, and of course good for wildlife. And I know I've said it before, I think, on videos, but the feeling that I want to get from this garden is the feeling very much as the description of the secret garden in the book, The Secret Garden, is, in that it looks like it was a garden that was loved, that has lots of sort of cultivated plants, lots of roses and clematis and iris, but that humans haven't intervened in the last few years, so lots of wildflowers have been able to join those cultivated varieties, and that's what I've attempted to create. I'm very aware that this isn't to everybody's taste. Some people that come to the garden say, oh, you need to get out all those wildflowers and have things in sort of neat rows and things. That's very difficult to have things in neat rows when you're gardening on a very steep slope. Obviously, B, I wouldn't want to and have deliberately put in the wildflowers. But I love that feeling. To me, it feels very whimsical and magical, and there's a sort of naturalistic feeling, but hopefully also a slightly, it still looks tended, I hope. Not to everybody. I know I do get quite a few dislikes on my garden videos, as well as likes, because yeah, it's not to everybody's taste, which is fine. It would be boring if we all liked exactly the same things. So even though the garden might look very naturalistic, it is actually quite heavily curated by me, but I do like it to have that feeling that you would think that once I've left the garden there'll be little deer running around the garden and fairies, and yeah, that sort of, that humans who seem to destroy a lot of things haven't meddled too much in this space, that I've just given Mother Nature a very small helping hand. As I think I've mentioned in the past, I love having black in the garden, so I am a huge fan of these soft pinks, purples and whites. Absolutely love it, but I don't want it to look too twee. I want it to look cottagey and pretty and fairytale and magical, which I think the soft colours do give, the pinks and purples and whites. But also, I mean, you know, fairies have a very dark side, or they do in Welsh mythology anyway, and I just think adding black accents into all this sort of prettiness really gives a lovely contrast, yeah, and stops it looking too sugary, too sweet and girly. So as I've mentioned before, but I will mention again, this is basically, this lovely plant here is a cultivated variety of cow parsley. Now, cow parsley in Britain and Ireland is a wild flower, but it just has green stems and leaves. So this is a cultivated form called Anthriscus sylvestris raven's wing. Oh, it's absolutely magical. And if you can see in the border behind it, there's another black leaf. And I love having black dotted about. I showed you late winter, early spring. This was a black hellebore that I had, and I also had some black tulips. Here is going to be a black flowered Persian lily, which I will obviously show you when it's in flower. Black heuchera, which looks sort of reddish on camera, but it's a very dark purpley black, which again gives you that black leaved accent all year round. This amazing shrub, which is Physocarpus Diablo. Again, a beautiful sort of chocolatey browny black leaf, which again, as I say, it just adds, it gives a balance, so it just sort of tones down things from being too sort of sickly sweet and girly. It's beautiful. It's really stunning. It's just such a lovely foil for all these pretty colours. I hope you can see it's gone enormous now. It's really tall. I should have chopped it down really, so it was brought down more into the garden. That's a Zambucus nigra black lace, so it's a black-leaved elder, and it has beautiful pink blossom on as well. So there's obviously nothing wrong with just having the pretty colours, and I absolutely adore them. I always like that sort of slightly dark Gothic twist, that there's just a little bit, just a little bit of darkness, a little bit almost a sort of slightly sinister fairy tale quality, which I think you do get if you have these very dark leaved plants. They're just such a lovely contrast to the rest. Here, the lovely red campion, which of course is pink, but they used to use the word red to cover pink as well. Lovely red campion, a wildflower, and then next to it the dusky cranesbill, which is just beautiful. And I just keep deadheading this and chop it right down, and it usually gives me another flush of flowers later in the late summer. Totally Tangerine is doing incredibly well, and I'm so excited. This is a Phlomis here, so I put this in a few years ago now, and it literally has just sat there growing these huge leaves, taking up lots of room, to the point that I was thinking, if it doesn't flower this year, I'm going to have to take it out, because I've got two of them and they take up a lot of space if they're not going to flower. But look at them, look at all the flowers that we're going to have on it. And what I love about this, if you're somebody that doesn't like your garden in late autumn and winter, this is one of the plants to grow, because it will give you beautiful flowers soon, if you're in the northern hemisphere, so sort of late May, June. But if you leave these stems on, can you imagine these with frost on them when they're seed heads? Absolutely magical. So it's good for wildlife anyway, but it's double whammy, because it means that it's going to give some really lovely interest in the autumn and winter. The Honesty has now gone to seed, but of course these will go a beautiful silvery white colour, so soon that will give another dimension. The London Pride is such a unassuming little plant, but I think it gives that lovely feathery whimsy to the garden at this time of year. So pretty. Get-me-nots are starting to go over, but I always leave the seed heads, because little mice and voles and finches love to eat the seed heads, so please let them seed first, and only take them out once the seeds have gone, because it's a lovely food source. Robin, it's not really liked it in my garden this year because it's been so dry. It's only just started flowering. That's a lovely native to have in the garden if you've got a damp spot. Geums have now gone to seed, but even their seed heads I think are really pretty. And again, probably the finches and the little rodents will probably eat those. The marsh marigolds have gone over, which of course I was sad about, but luckily the yellow flag iris just starting to open. This lovely plant here, which seems to have on one plant a mixture of white and lilac flowers on, is Dame's Rocket, or Sweet Violet. No, I'll get it right in a minute. Sweet Rocket or Dame's Violet, and it's particularly loved by night flying moths. So it usually has the strongest scent at night, and they absolutely love feeding on that, and it's such a pretty plant. I'm hoping it will self-seed. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by how many roses I'm going to have this year. I mean, this is Kew Gardens in front, and then Blush Noisette just behind it, but I don't think I've ever seen so many rosebuds. That's quite mad. I bore you to tears by showing you the different colour Aquilegia that I have in the garden. So this is probably the bog standard one that you get in the wild, this lovely dark purple. And then I've got this one, which has almost got sort of little lanterns. It's almost like an erythronium or something. The way if it wasn't so windy I could show you properly. But a lovely sort of dusky pink colour. This one, which is a sort of lilac-y, whitey pink. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. And look, the first of my Blue For You roses. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? And it goes so nicely with this Aquilegia, and then the iris. I have this glorious dark pink Aquilegia, which looks beautiful against the stone, doesn't it? This one, which is very difficult to film because it's in the shade, and it's the only one, the only non-native that I put in the garden because it's black. I'd forgotten that I had another black plant to show you. This is Black Barlow, I think. Yeah, beautiful black Aquilegia. So magical. This glorious rhododendron, which the bees absolutely love. I'll do a close-up. It's so pretty, and it really draws the eye up into the trees. It's that beautiful pale pink. Last time I showed you my pink scabious, but this is my sort of lilac-y scabious called Butterfly Blue, and the butterflies do love it. Such a beautiful colour, and it'll flower for months if I keep deadheading it. The Syrinchium here is just about to flower, but I think that somebody's eating the flower buds, so let's see if it does actually flower, because I used to have dozens of these in the garden, so I gave them away to all of my clients, and as soon as I did that, all of mine got eaten bar this one, and it hasn't even flowered the last couple of years because somebody keeps munching, so fingers crossed, because that's a lovely pale yellow flower. It doesn't flower for long, but while it does, I love that pale yellow in the garden. And of course, I couldn't talk about the garden at this time of year without talking about the iris. They definitely steal the show, I think, at this time of year. They make the garden. Yeah, they're quite early this year, I think, but yeah, I absolutely adore them. This is Iris sibirica, and I have dozens of plants dotted about. I started off with one plant, and then it became a huge clump, and I keep lifting and dividing them, and they love that. Flower for a long time? No, not really. But are they completely stunning? Absolutely. Aren't they gorgeous? And of course, the pollinators love them. And my geranium oxynamium has just started flowering. And this lovely pink geranium will go on flowering for a very long time indeed. It looks lovely next to Totally Tangerine. Bulls Mauve will continue to flower again if I keep on deadheading it, almost continuously really. So yeah, definitely put this one in your garden. My Blush Noisette My climbers just started flowering. Isn't that gorgeous? Sorry about my dirty nails. It's my nails are never clean because I'm always gardening. Even if I'm sort of, going past somebody's house, I'll sort of deadhead their things for them to keep their flowers going. But that's such a beautiful, beautiful rose. And oh my goodness, just thousands and thousands of flowers still to come. I won't bore you by showing you every part of the plant. And I let the herb Robert flower in my borders. They're pretty. They're just as pretty as a cultivated geranium, so why weed it out just because it's a wild flower? And I love buttercups. And so, yeah, I know it's not a popular choice, but I allowed them. I allowed them in certain places in the garden because they're gorgeous. Look at them, contrasting so beautifully with the forget-me-nots. And again, they're amazing for wildlife. Just remembered that there are two more plants that have got dark foliage, which look wonderful. Of course, you've got the bugle here, and then next to it, it's not in flower yet, but this is a geranium, a perennial geranium. This is Hocus Pocus, which will have lovely sort of lilac-y blue flowers that of course contrast amazingly with that black leaf. And also this phlox here has got black stems and then sort of black stripes on the leaves. I can't remember, it's got, I can't think of the variety. I will mention it again later if I remember the variety. And then I've got this lupin, which again is very early for my garden to have lupins in flower. It's a gorgeous one, and it's the only lupin I've ever been able to grow. I think because I kept it in a pot for a long time, the slugs and snails couldn't get to it, and then once it became established, once it became really large, I put it in the ground. And well, I don't want to tempt fate, but yeah, it seems quite robust now. Well, certainly it hasn't been eaten down to nothing as all my other lupins have. I have lots of blossom still coming in the garden, so I've got a rowan up there in flower, the black elder's about to flower. I've got lots of pyracantha, which is full of flower buds. I'll show you. It's going to be covered, so I have a constant supply of food for wildlife. Oh, you can just see, can you see the lovely elderflowers there? That's a really nice elder to grow. That one. I've got a lovely white lilac, and then down to the rhododendron, and then next to the rhododendron there is a crampbark or a guelder rose, it's known as, lovely shrub, and then which is a native, and then a native elder next to it. So this is the guelder rose. Ooh. Isn't that pretty? It'll have beautiful bright red flowers on it. Oh, it's struggling to focus. And then next to it, a lovely native elder, which has gone enormous. I planted it, it was a tiny, tiny little sapling a few years ago, and it's really huge now. In fact, I'm training it to sort of arch over the path in the kitchen apothecary garden, which will look really lovely. This is the lovely yellow pimpernel, which is a great ground cover. It's a native plant. Lots of people pull it out, particularly from borders, but look how gorgeous that is. It's a lovely little flower. Look, isn't that sweet? Little yellow stars. Why wouldn't you want that in your garden? Just cute. I don't know what's happened to my alliums, but that's literally, can you see there? That's the only allium I've got in the garden. I had dozens, so still, I'm happy I've got that one. It's lovely next to the mountain cornflower, isn't it? I'm really worried about my pond, or more accurately, the little people that live in it, because it's been so dry. I mean, we have had rain, but not that much, and not enough to fill up the pond after such a dry April. I've had to fill it up with tap water, so I've had to sort of leave the tap water stand in buckets and things for a couple of days and then top up the pond, but it's still incredibly low. You can probably barely see that there's water there, so in fact when I finish filming I'll be topping them up again. So yeah, fingers crossed for my little friends in there. Green alkanet is still flowering and still attracting lots and lots of pollinators, which is lovely. It's been flowering since February, so it is even though it's quite invasive, so I have to warn you of that if you decide to plant it. It does give a lot of flowers, so a lot of interest and a lot of food for wildlife. So here we are in the kitchen apothecary garden. Looks a bit wild actually, but yeah, lots of food in here for us and all the lovely little people we share this space with. I've got lots of peaches coming on the tree in the greenhouse, which I'm delighted about. I hope they don't all drop, because I was really bad at pollinating them this year. I don't know what I was doing, but I was obviously too busy to pollinate them, but yeah, luckily it looks like somebody's done the job for me, so thank you. My runner beans are desperate to go out, but because it's been so cold I daren't put them out yet. They wouldn't like it. I've got all my tomatoes in. Again, they haven't grown very much since I put them in because it's just the temperatures have been so poor, and I had about 3 million chard, so I have no kale yet. Because somebody keeps eating all the kale seedlings. They germinate fine, and then somebody comes along and eats them no matter what I do. The chard, I didn't think I had any because I kept sowing it, and then weeks and weeks went by and there was no sign of them, so I assumed they hadn't taken, so I sowed more, and then all of a sudden all of them germinate at the same time. So I've got lots in here and lots out in the garden, but I'm not complaining about that. That's going to be lots of lovely leaves for salads and for stir fries. Look at my lovely Welsh poppies, a mix of yellow and orange. Cara, this is the very plant that I took your seeds from, so I hope one day your plants will look like this. Nearly fell over. So I don't know if you can see, this is where I've put the rest of the chard along with some rocket, and then I've got chives, Welsh onions, and then 2 big blueberry bushes which look covered in fruit, so possibly the blackbirds might let me have a couple this year. All the blueberry flowers, but Trudy Scrumptious, our blackbird, our female blackbird, and her husband are very welcome to them and their babies. Another blue for you rose. The kitchen apothecary garden. It's so pretty. They've all been a little bit battered because it's been so windy, but they are lovely roses. So this probably looks as if it's just lots of wildflowers and things all jumbled together, which it is, but there's such a lot of food in here as well. Well, there's lots of herbs for medicine and that are edible. I'm also growing these are wild perennial leeks, which this is the first year that they look big enough to probably harvest, so I'm very excited about that. But yes, it's actually a lot of food and medicine in these beds. They just don't look like conventional a conventional kitchen garden, or maybe it does. I don't know. Rhubarb is crazy this year, and I've interplanted them with elecampane for medicine, and hopefully they'll also have beautiful yellow flowers which will look wonderful and be good for wildlife. Them are my potatoes. I'm just growing one variety, just some new potatoes, which I hope will be ready probably just after my birthday, which I'm very excited about. And then after they're finished, I'll probably put a pumpkin in here, I think. I've got lots of strawberries coming. I'm really pleased because these are quite old plants now. I should have replaced them last year, really. So I'm delighted that they're still producing a lot of flowers. Well, flowers and fruit. I've been eating the last of my purple sprouting broccoli, which has been absolutely delicious. It's the only plant that was left because the cheeky pigeons ate every other one. My asparagus has been delicious. It's so sweet when it's cut fresh from your own plant. So it's been so exciting to be able to harvest this. So I've been harvesting this for the last few weeks, and I should be able to harvest it till the middle or sort of close to the end of June. So yeah, I mean, if you've got the space, it's well worth having a couple of asparagus plants, if you like asparagus, of course. As I have mentioned, I have put in dozens of native wildflowers into the orchard, so the pollinators get lots of food, and also they do me a favour and are attracted to this part of the garden, and hopefully pollinate all my fruit for me, which is lovely. Lovely speedwell, which so many people, let me show you the leaf and you'll recognise it. So many people pull that out of the garden thinking it's a weed, but look at that. That's stunning, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. So yeah, it's very welcome in the orchard. Everything is, apart from brambles and grass. Those are the only two things that I don't allow in the orchard. So brambles, because they will just smother everything and take over, and grass because literally the slope is, well, it's almost vertical by here, and there's no way that I could ever get up here to cut it, and also it would outcompete the flowers. So yeah, those are the only two things that I weed out of here, and anyone else is very welcome to join this little community. Here you can probably see just how, well, possibly you can't actually, on camera it doesn't look very steep. It's such a steep hillside, but it is quite nice because it's a south facing slope, so it obviously means that even things at the very back of the garden do get some sun. Here in my wild wood, our tiny little pond, the flag iris has just started to flower. The bluebells went over so quickly because it was really dry, so I didn't really get to show you them. This viburnum opulus, this Gelder rose, cramp bark, whatever you want to call it, this lovely native tree. It's huge, it's doing so well. It's going to have so many berries on it for wildlife, which is going to be amazing. And obviously the flowers in the meantime are great for all the little creatures that like to feed on it. This isn't an area that I show you very often. It's quite hard to film, and it's quite a hard place to garden. It's just on a very sort of rough slope, but on it I've got telephinum, no, it's not telephinum, Telema grandiflora here, which is very sweet at this time of year. And then I've put in some of our native red clover, which is actually pink. Some native bird's foot trefoil, I can't speak. And this is a nice geranium, mycorrhiza. It's the Balkan geranium, the Balkan cranesbill, which I love at this time of year. It's the one that has the leaves smell really nice. It's not a scented pelargonium. It's an actual geranium, a perennial geranium, but the leaves do smell really nice on it. So this is the little bank I was showing you, just at a distance. Everything amazing for wildlife. But yes, it was very difficult to know what to do with this because it's behind a Leylandii. There's lots of Leylandii roots here. But yes, it's a lovely little bank full of food, and there's all on the very steep edge of the bank. There are lots of wild strawberries that I've put there for the wildlife to eat. So for context, it's just to the side of the bug hotel here. And this is Geomaitai, which is a very pretty geranium, the palest apricot colour. But I mean, if you've only got a small garden, I would go with Totally Tangerine personally, because it flowers for such a long time. But if you've got a big space and can afford to have lots of different varieties of plants, this is a very pretty one, isn't it? And again, looks lovely with the forget-me-nots and the sweet woodruff. Sweet woodruff's the little white flower. That's a lovely little native plant. Trudy! Trudy! And this is Trudy Scrumptious. That's Trudy Scrumptious. Did you see her? Trudy! Hi! Shall I get you some food? Oh, she's going for a little swim. Little bathe. I'll get her some food and so you can see her close up. Here she is. Here's Trudy Scrumptious. Oh, she's very camera shy. Trudy! Oh, Trudy's still feeding her babies. She hasn't got time to eat. Did you see her with a mouthful of food? So that's it for today's tour, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll keep updating you. Obviously, as you've seen, there are lots of roses to come in the next few weeks, so I'll enjoy showing you those and all the other things that are yet to flower. As always, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell notification. Sorry to be boring, but it does help if you do it for every YouTube channel that you enjoy. It really helps us all out. So more people can get to see this, and so you will get to see it, because yes, if YouTube doesn't think it's popular, they won't show it. Yeah, and please leave comments. Have you got any of these plants in your garden? What's the weather been like there? It's been unseasonably cold here in Wales since the beginning of May. I think things are set to warm up a bit, which will be quite nice, because it really is freezing. And yeah, if you don't mind hyping it as well, or sharing it with any like-minded friends, that would always be much appreciated. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I really look forward to you joining me here again soon. Bye for now. Standing behind a girl that's far taller than she is, which isn't very helpful.
ad observandum omnia statuta, privilegia, consuetudines et libertates stius in universitatis quaterus ad vos expellit.
Oh, I'm surprised.